Hello, everybody. There we go. Chief Morales, Joel Fritzman here, alongside Drew Brummel, and we are live not for any severe warnings at the current time, but we are live out of an abundance of caution, kind of similar to what we've done in the months past. We did this one or two other times. We do have a special weather statement right now in Huron County for the possibility of 50-mile-per-hour winds and land spouts possible within this line in the last hour or so. We saw a couple of couplets rotating across the Bad Axe and Ubli area, and these are now heading towards Harbor Beach and extreme southeastern portions of Huron County towards Ruth and eventually towards Minden City and Forestville. We're watching this one right here, which has been rotating the strongest in the past. You can see as we back it up. It's crossed Huron County. It has been showing signs of weak rotation, but it has been the strongest pocket. Also, unconfirmed reports of a funnel cloud report over Bad Axe High School with that storm there. We also have a second couplet maybe trying to form down here in south of Ubli, heading towards Minden City. And in the recent couple scans here, this is also why we're going live, is because there's just a bunch of different couplets all up and down this line. We have another couplet here to the northwest of Kingston, where the reds and greens come close together. We zoom out and we go to this little spot right here to the northwest of Mayville. And lastly, directly over Vassar, where there is reds and greens coming together there. So we have about 4 or 5 different couplets that are weakly rotating across the Saginaw, or across the Thumb region to the east of Saginaw. And so this is mainly impacting portions of Huron, Tuscola, and eventually into Sanilac County, especially this couplet up here to the north of Snover, to the west of Minden City, south of Ubli. So that is why we're live. There's no warnings in effect at the current time. But we figured we'd go live out of an abundance of caution, given how many reports we've seen of wall clouds out there today, potential funnel clouds, and on radar we have been watching rotation continue to move across the Thumb region. If you're just joining in, feel free to hit that like button and share the stream with your friends and family, especially anyone in the Thumb today, and as well as down in southern Michigan, where we do have severe weather possible across the I-94 region, points south. Has been a pretty rainy day down there, so instability has been limited and all the storms have been pushed south into Indiana. So it's unconfirmed whether or not the marginal risk will verify for southern Michigan today, given how much rain is out there. But at the current time, we are watching a line of stronger storms that is producing perhaps 40 to 50 mile per hour winds and possible land spouts all up and down this line as it crosses the Thumb region towards Lake Huron. Also going to shout out the Michigan man here for becoming a member for month number 7, saying 7 months on YouTube, horns up emoji. Thanks for the coverage, guys. No problem. Again, we are live out of abundance of caution today. There's no warnings, but again, when we see rotating storms like this, we felt the need that it would be worth it to go live. We do have damage reports coming in out of the Bad Axe and Ubli regions as well, so just here covering it with live radar as needed. At the current time, you can see it doesn't look all that impressive in terms of base reflectivity, so there's not that intense of rain, except for in the spots where you see the darker reds and pinks. But again, these tiny little storms do exhibit a lot of shear out there today and can spin up a brief weak landspout or tornado at any time.
Once again, as Joel mentioned, we're watching multiple areas for rotation. We've had several special weather statements for land spout possible, for land spouts as well as some gusty winds. And as Joel mentioned, we've had some damage reported by Bad Axe. If you guys have any pictures of anything suspicious, whether it's a wall cloud or anything like that, feel free to send that to us, only if it's safe to do so, though. If you guys have any damage after these storms move through, feel free to send that to us as well. Tag the National Weather Service of Detroit as well if you can. And once again, we appreciate your guys' support.
Yeah, we just got a post on our Facebook page up of that wall cloud in Ubli. That was, I believe, from this storm that is off to the north now. However, as a reminder, there is a second area of rotation, very, very weak, heading towards Minden City on the south side of Ubli. This is going directly up Bay City Forestville Road and Charleston Road, crossing over Verona Road at the current time. So it's about 5 or 6 miles outside of Minden City as it stands, but it is heading that way at a rather slow clip. The special weather statement to the north says these storms are moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour.
We're also keeping an eye also for southern Michigan today. There is a marginal risk in place for southern Michigan right now. Nothing concerning in southern Michigan. There's a few severe storms in Indiana, but nothing impacting southern Michigan at this time. We are once again live for multiple areas of rotation in the thumb region.
Yeah, so one of those rare instances here where we are live out of abundance of caution and not for severe. But, you know, when damage has already come in from today, figured you might as well go live just in case. Good news is in the latest scan, the rotation is rather weak all up and down the line. The areas up in the thumb don't look that impressive, but that can change in one scan. We've seen it happen before. Ubly, got it. Not sure how long we'll be live, but we're here. Just waiting for more scans to come in. They're right now about 2 to 3 minutes apart. New statement coming in. Drew, I'm going to let you get that.
Yep.
And a new one coming in for Tuscola as well. So I have 2 of them back to back coming in at the same exact time. So you'll have 2 to post there, Drew.
Indeed. Yeah, for the one that's one of them for sure says landspout possible. Yep. I would assume both would say that, but first one I've seen is landspout possible.
Yeah, this is going to be the Huron Sanilac County one. So this new box right here, that kind of looks like a weird trapezoid. Such weather statement in effect at 3:29. Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms capable of producing a landspout along a line extending from 7 miles southwest of Harbor Beach to Ubly. Movement was east at 20 miles per hour. Hazard, landspouts and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Sources radar indicated. Locations impacted by this potential storm that may produce water or landspouts includes Harbor Beach, Forestville, Helena, Minden, Ruth, Tyre, Parisville, and White Rock. The Harbor Beach cam that we have out there right now is just showing a lot of fog and rain, so there's nothing too much to see out there. So that is statement number 1. We have statement number 2 in Tuscola County. This reads at 3:28 p.m. Eastern. Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorm near Cairo, moving east at 25. Hazards are wind gusts of 30. They do not mention possible landspouts with this one, despite the fact that there is rotation in this line. This strong thunderstorm will be near Kingston around 3:45. Other locations impacted by this storm include Wilmot, East Dayton, Guilford, Deford, Watrous and Richville. People attending Tuscola County Fair should seek safe shelter immediately. This does include you guys there at the Tuscola County Fair. Areas of rotation have continued in 2 different pockets near Vassar, just to the east of Vassar, and moving to the north of Mayville at the current time. Mayville is in that special weather statement, by the way. So we're watching Area 1 right here, about 3 miles to the east of Vassar, and about 5 to 6 miles, maybe 7 or 8 miles away from Vassar, we have rotational pocket number 2. It's more north of Mayville by around 3 miles. So back-to-back areas of rotation moving across Tuscola County, not statemented for possible landspouts, but we'll continue to watch those as they continue to cross the M46 region towards Kingston. And as a reminder, the statements up here in the thumb, so Huron and northern Sanilac County, are in effect for 50 to 55 mile per hour winds and possible landspouts. Again, a landspout is like a weak tornado, usually forms without the presence of a rotating updraft. However, today there are rotating updrafts out there, so I'm not sure why they are putting landspout possible. But again, it's just, I think me and Drew were talking about this, I think it's just the way that the alerts are set up in the instance where they don't really have special weather statements for rotating storms. They would just rather issue a tornado warning, which, because the rotation is so weak right now, they're gonna hold off on issuing any tornado warning. So good news there is the rotation right now in the thumb is rather weak, but we are continuing to monitor for these possible landspouts / miniature tornadoes. This is the only area of concern in the state of Michigan right now. Otherwise, just a lot of rain going on down in southern Michigan as well as up in northern Michigan near Alpena. As you can see on your screen, there's only 3 boxes. Those are all special weather statements, and they're all on the thumb. New scan here at 333. Still more of the same, a lot of weak rotation.
Those that are wondering, we have a lot of low wall clouds today. We have very humid air still in place. Dew points are in the 70s right now. With how temperatures are a little bit cooler, that's causing our clouds to be very, very low to the ground. So obviously when you're sending in reports, make sure you know what you're reporting. We might have a lot of rising scud today. But once again, as Joel mentioned, we do have areas of rotation. So we could have funnels and wall clouds today. So just be mindful about that. But we're getting a lot of reports of low wall clouds throughout the thumb here. So once again, guys, appreciate the feedback as always.
Appreciate the $1 super chat, Brad. Thank you very much. Yeah, both of these statements that just came in, by the way, are in effect until 4:30 p.m., so about an hour on those. Statements are usually only issued for an hour at most, sometimes a little longer, but hours usually the going rate. That's what we're seeing out there today. We have a new radar scan in just about a minute and a half. Fairly silent in here, though, otherwise, given the fact that there is not a whole lot going on. As a reminder, we are live out of the Abundance of Caution for the thumb region. All these tiny little cells up and down the line where the reds and greens are close together all are showing these little tiny areas of rotation. Essentially, the reds and greens mean winds inbound and outbound from the radar site. When you get those close together like that, that's a sign of rotation. The brighter the colors, the stronger the rotation. Right now, I believe the strongest of rotation, even though it's not that great, is about 3 or 4 miles outside of Vassar, moving towards Mayville. Over here on YouTube with a $9.99 super chat is Pacify at ASMR saying, just showing some love for your hard work with a heart emoji. Thank you very much, Pacify. Appreciate you for always tuning in and supporting our operations here at MSC. You are much appreciated. Thank you for showing the love. Pause the radar. A little bit of red and green. Bay City Forestville Road, about 3 miles to the west of Minden City. Tiny little couplet right in the vicinity of Ruth as well. Lepic Road. Tough to tell what's going on up here near Harbor Beach. Doesn't look like anything too crazy. The line extends from Ruth down through Minden City, down towards Kingston, and back towards Vassar. So any storm up and down this line may inhibit some little bit of rotation today. See a little bit of reds and greens mixing in near Kingston, and the brightest of greens and reds right near Vassar, as mentioned. But overall, the good news is these reds and greens are not that bright, so nowhere near like intense tornadoes by any means. If something were to touch down, it would be very, very brief and very, very weak in nature. Might pick up a couple trash cans, your awnings, stuff that's really lightweight. But again, if you do have damage, feel free to send it in to us. Michigan Storm Community is our fair weather page. It's our community group on Facebook. If you would like to send in damage reports, Michigan Weather Reports. Search that on Facebook right now. It's a community page that is hosted by us at Michigan Storm Chasers for you guys to submit in all your damage reports. Make sure when you do submit those damage reports, time, location, and as needed size for hailstones or tree diameters. All the information that you can think of when you are sending these damage reports does help, and we relay this information to the National Weather Service office so that they may issue warnings, send out damage crews for surveys, and all of that jazz.
These storms don't really have a lot of lightning with them. There's not a lot of cape for these storms to take advantage of. So for a lot of you guys, you might just get rain, and that might be it. But once again, we do have areas of rotation, so we could have that off chance of, once again, damage being reported from any of these couplets here. So, but otherwise, besides that, nothing else too concerning. Southern Michigan, you are in a slight excessive rainfall outlook, I believe, Joel, right?
Slight excessive rainfall, yeah, down by the border, south of 94.
Yep. So we'll be watching that behind the scenes here as well. But once again, we're, as Joel mentioned, we went live for the sake of caution for areas of rotation in the thumb.
Let's see what this storm is trying to do near Mayville. That is actually starting to pick up a little bit more greens, a little bit more of a RFD type of winds, and it does have a cell forming off to its southwest. We would call that a nudger. If that interacts with the storm in front of it, it could give it a little bit of a nudge. That's why it's called that, and perhaps increase its severity, perhaps get it to severe limits. At the current time, that does not appear to be the case. So if you're in Mayville, Kingston, Clifford down the road, be on alert for this cell on your screen, circled in the white box. That is just south of M46 right now. And this is approaching M24 corridor. Your scan for velocity coming in. And that picks it up a little bit. see what happens here. That storm from behind is starting to get a little bit closer. The storm right here between Vassar and Millington, directly on State Road. That is the storm. If it pushes into this one in front of it, you never know what could happen. So if you are up and down the M24 corridor, south of Cairo, and in the Mayville region, be on alert. This area of a little bit of weak rotation is heading down Blackmore Road. Actually, we'll switch it over to our velocity here. Yeah, crossing over Leax Road at Blackmore Road, heading into the vicinity of Conrad Road, and then eventually M24, as mentioned. So if you know anyone in Mayville, Kingston area, feel free to like and share, show you care. Even if you don't know anyone in this region, a like and a share does go a long ways. You never know who you are helping out there as a fellow Michigander. You want to make sure we're helping everyone across the state. So Mayville, M24 region, Blackmore Road. We have rotation that is increasing in the latest scan, directly north of you.
I will mention, Joe, just saw a comment here. M46 and M15, it's a time-lapse video. Clearly can see rotation. Looks like a little bit of a shelf as well in this video as well, but there's definitely rotation being proven with this video here.
So that would have been south of Reese earlier. What time was that at?
I'm not given a time, unfortunately.
Okay.
It was just commented here just a minute or two ago, though.
Okay.
And that would be underneath our radar post. About 45 minutes ago.
Okay, I'll check that out right now. Oh yeah, that is quite the base. A little bit of a shelf on there. Last Scud too. Latest scan continues that rotation. Looks like it's wobbled a little bit back to the north, going down Ambrose Road, maybe closer to North Grove Road. So it keeps doing these little bit of wobbles back and forth just to the north of Mayville, within the vicinity of between Mayville and M46. So if you are between that little area there, that is basically where this rotation is heading down. So North Grove Road and Blackmore Road is where the strongest rotation is currently at, in the vicinity of M24, as a reminder. That is definitely the cell to watch. It is the strongest looking on base reflectivity, which is the intensity of rain. And there's a nice clean air inflow slot to the south. So keep an eye on that. Still weak rotation ongoing near Kingston. Perhaps up here near Ruth and Minden City, but that right now is very, very weak in comparison to what is happening north of Mayville at the current time. So if anyone has any photos or has a view on this storm in Mayville right now, feel free to let us know. Feel free to drop it in the comments of one of our posts. We'll see it. Just make sure you're not post it in the stream here. We can't see it in the stream. So put it on one of our other posts and feel free to let us know where exactly you're seeing this from. We'll take any reports. Again, we are working on expanding our camera network across the state of Michigan. We actually do have 20 cams in as of today. We're continuing to release those to you guys here on our Facebook page. But if you guys would like to sponsor a weather camera, feel free to contact Ryan. His email is ryan@michiganstormchasers.com. You get all the details from him. Right now we have, in terms of cameras in the thumb that are confirmed or in, are Imlay City and Harbor Beach. So right now there's really no cameras in the Kingston area set up yet. We might have some coming. But again, as it stands right now, if you have any photos you'd like to send in from Mayville, feel free to do that. Rotation has increased even more, Drew. It's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do.
Yeah, that's something that's going to have to be monitored. Yeah.
A little bit of a nudge. The special alert statement for all of Huron County minus the southeast corner has expired. That expired at 3:45 about a minute ago. Continues for Harbor Beach, Ruth, Minden City, Forestville, and White Rock until 4:30 p.m. for possible landspouts and 50-mile-per-hour winds. I would imagine we might see some sort of warning or upgrade soon to the statement or severe thunderstorm warning for Mayville, as this rotation has continued to increase in the latest couple scans. Center rotation now directly on M24 to the south of the M46 interchange. See a couple.
Another thing too, as Jewel was mentioning, if you guys send in reports, please include a location and time. If we get a video or a picture of something and nothing else, then we could maybe give a rough guess where it could be, but we don't know the exact location. So give as many details as you can, because that could really help out for us communicating that to the public as well. Back to you, Joel.
Sounds good. We do have comments coming in, or photos coming in now. Appreciate you guys for sending them in on our Facebook page. A little bit of a lowering. 1 mile south of M46, looking west towards the storm in Mayville. Yeah, that would be the storm that we're monitoring right now. Very low shelf, perhaps a little bit of a wall cloud buried back there in the rain. So thank you for that report. Rotation is now a little bit to the east of M24, directly on Lobdell Road, around where Blackmore and Lobdell come in and meet. That is very intense looking. We actually have a second area of rotation that is continuing to increase as well, just off to its northeast. So we have twins in a way. We have rotational couplet number 1 to the north of Mayville, and rotational couplet number 2 that is approaching Kingston now. So these are two couplets back to back that are starting to show a little bit more intense rotation and also tight. As a reminder, this is our velocity radar product. So this is winds heading away and towards the radar site, which is located in Detroit. Red's heading away, green's heading towards. When they meet close together like that, that is the center of the rotation. And the brighter the colors, the more intense that rotation is. So you can see right now, north of Mayville, about 2 or 3 miles outside of town of Mayville, that rotation is actually quite intense in comparison to the one to the east, but they are both continuing to increase the rotation as they continue towards Kingston off to the east. As a reminder, if you have any photos you'd like to send in of this storm, feel free to do so. Send it in our comments right now, and we'll grab a picture of those and we'll relay the information here on stream. And as necessary, relay it to the National Weather Service office in Detroit, as this is the Detroit's jurisdiction out here. Just looping it through. I have seen storms with weaker rotation that have gotten tornado warnings in the past. I would not be surprised if they pull the trigger on this one if this continues within the next scan or two. At the very least, perhaps a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. But it's up to the discretion of the National Weather Service in Detroit. So we'll wait and see what they have to say. Correlation coefficient, debris-wise, well, Drew, it is possible.
Yeah, maybe on the bus.
It is in the same
location.
Well, no, it could be in the same location as some lighter hail as well. There is on base reflectivity some pinks showing up in there, which are very, very heavy droplets. And if those droplets are high enough in the atmosphere, they are super cooling into frozen liquid and perhaps turning into hailstones. So that is possible. Rotation in the latest scan does continue. Center of couplet 1 is at the intersection of Cat Lake Road and Blackmore. Rotational couplet number 2 is going right down Harmon Lake Road at the intersection of Reed and Harmon Lake. Both of these cells about a mile or two south of M46, getting very close to Kingston within the next probably 5 or 10 minutes. Drew, if you want to get a radar post out,
Yeah.
feel free. Doesn't have to be anything crazy in text, but worth mentioning. We'll say the storm back here near Millington, south of Vassar, also is showing a little bit of just stronger winds. Could be a downburst ongoing. So watch out for 30 to 40 mile per hour winds if you're north of Millington. Not rotating, but still strong winds nonetheless. As a reminder, if you know anyone in the Thumb, mainly along and south of M46 at the current time, you could also let the people know in Deckerville, Sandusky, Port Sanilac, up north towards Forestville know as well. This line of storms today is exhibiting some weak rotation all up and down the line. So feel free to like and share, show you care, as I keep mentioning. This stream today, again, you're helping out your fellow Michiganders find the severe weather coverage they so rightfully deserve. And we will continue to be live out of this abundance of caution today until we believe the rotation is no longer a threat. Until that happens, though, we will be live. For those just tuning in, couplet 1, about 2 or 3 miles north of Mayville. Couplet 2, about 2 to 3 miles west-southwest of Kingston. Both of these storms moving off to the east about 20 to 30 miles per hour. May clip Kingston, but it looks like they're moving just to the south. Looks like the latest scan has come in. And it continues the rotation in 2 spots. As a reminder, feel free to send in any pictures you guys have of this storm. We do appreciate them. Waiting to see what else we got here. Current time not seeing anything. This may turn a little bit messy very, very soon. Showers, as you can see, looping the storms here. Showers are continuing off to the east, 25 to 30 miles per hour, heading into Sanilac County, Marlette, Sandusky, Port Sanilac, Brown City, Crosswell, pretty much the entirety of Sanilac County up next for some showers and storms, perhaps even northern Lapeer as they roll on through time. There's also another cell forming back here in southern Midland County, northwest Saginaw County. Monitor that as that is along the warm front as well. At the current time, the main concern remains a little bit of rotation near Kingston and Mayville into Thumb, and we will continue to focus on this area until either another storm that is strong across the state takes precedent, or these cells continue to fizzle out, which in the latest scan, that rotation has picked up again near Kingston. So it's doing a little bit of a handoff. In fact, it appears that our third cell near Vassar and Millington is also starting to get a little bit of a hook on it. As you can see here, it hooks back off to the west. Anytime you see these kidney bean type shapes within a storm, that is usually a sign of rotation. And we are seeing that start to try and pick up directly over Kane Road near Rupperchet. Probably pronounced that wrong, but if you're in this area, you likely know where that is. But that is bright velocity signature now, about 1.5 miles now south of Kingston. Continuing to move off to the east. Heading straight down Denhoff Road. As a reminder, if you'd like to inquire about camera pricing, camera locations, you will have to reach out to Ryan. Again, his email is ryan@michiganstormchasers.com, or send us a messenger or a message in Messenger. We do appreciate your reaching out. But that information can be found via Ryan. So now this rotation now over English Road, which dead ends there just to the north of Shea Lake. About to cross Phillips Road at Shea Lake Road. Curious to see what Mezzo has on this. Yeah, that decent environment.
Is that pocket of 3K over that area now?
Yep, 175.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Indeed. Oh wow, yeah, that latest scan. Just a big cluster. Tough to tell. It may also be clear air. It is a little bit displaced from the rain. So we're going to hope and pray that that is the case. Correlation coefficient kind of says that it is clear air. It is on the front edge of the storm, but we'll see. Let us know what you're seeing out there.
Joel, just want to give you an update here. This was from the damage that we got from around the Bad Axe area. Pine Street and White Lamb Street and Bad Axe. It's where there's been localized area of branches down along with an uprooted tree. It's all in the same thread on Facebook that we had. No
Gotcha.
picture with that though.
Thank you.
Yep. As Joel mentioned, we're continuing to watch this area of rotation just south of Kingston, moving off to the east here. Besides these areas of rotation, occasional lightning is possible as well. But otherwise, besides that, nothing else currently across the state. We do have rain that's happening in southern Michigan at this time. Once again, excessive rainfall outlooks, a marginal and a slight risk for excessive rainfall is present in southern Michigan for isolated regions, flooding. Currently, the only severe thunderstorm warnings are in Indiana, around the Great Lakes region. Those cells, as of now, are staying off to the south, heading northeast, mainly east though. Keep an eye on those cells, but right now we're going to be mainly focusing in the thumb. Once again, this live stream is a cautionary live stream for the thumb region.
New scan coming in for our velocity. I mean, still on the edge, tough to tell. Yeah, NROT is very high in that location, so that is definitely worth monitoring. This is now about a mile south of Kingston. So if you're in Kingston looking south, you might see some rain wrapping into the storm. However, because it is a heavy rain producer, it may be also rain wrapped, so you may not see it. This is over Denhoff Road at Kingston Road. A couple little roads here. Tamarack Drive. And heading near Brief Road and Cemetery Road. If you are off to the east of the storm, I'd be taking shelter just in case. That rotation is fairly bright, so the winds are definitely increasing. Left side radar is your base reflectivity. That's the intensity of the rain that's falling. So the hotter the colors, the more heavier the rain is. Right side of the screen is your velocity product. It looks like the Christmas radar, you could call it, because there's the reds and the greens. Red is winds moving away. Greens are winds moving towards. Where the reds and greens get bright and close together like that, that is rotation. That is the brighter the colors means the more, or the heavier the winds are going to be in this location. And again, the closer the reds and greens are close together, the tighter the rotation. That makes sense. New scan coming in just a second. Rotation continues. Latest scan a little bit weaker. Good news there. Sitting in a rather favorable environment at the current time. See how this continues to progress off to the east. Pretty much riding down the M46 corridor, a little bit south though. See if there's a statement or something coming in for Sanilac County, because this is quickly approaching the Sanilac County line. Looks like a new cell popping up near Carson City. North of Carson City. I believe that's Sumner. Directly over Sumner, yeah. That's heading up towards Elma. A couple showers and storms popping up near Stanwood. Cell continues to pop up north of Merrill and Hemlock, but those storms are not severe. Rain showers continue across southern Michigan. Nothing severe there. Main concern right now is our strong storm in Tuscola County. That continues to show a little bit of rotation on it. New velocity scan comes in, continues the reds and greens. And normalized rotation is still there. Good news is this correlation coefficient does not appear to be showing anything of the non-uniform objects tumbling around the atmosphere, so good news there. But something to keep watching, as this is now on Brief Road at the intersection of Brief and Clothier Road, with a cross over White Creek Road. Quick reset for those just tuning in. I am Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma alongside student meteorologist Drew Brummel. Both either graduated from Central Michigan University or are attending Central Michigan University for meteorology. We've been live out of abundance of caution for the last 45 minutes. If you are new here to Michigan Storm Chasers, this is what we do full time. We track storms live from beginning to end, usually in severe variety, but on the rare instance we believe these storms are worth monitoring that are not severe, we will go live, and that is the instance today. As mentioned, out of an abundance of caution. A little bit of news, the Sheboygan storm that did have a tornado warning on it the other day, National Weather Service Gaylor went out to survey, did not find a tornadic damage. So Michigan is still at 29 tornadoes in the state so far this year. Record for 1 year in Michigan is 39, so we're about 10 shy of that record that we do not want to break, but the summer continues on. Our severe storm season continues through August. Usually starts to wind down in August, but we do sometimes see severe storms in September and October, even in November as well. So keep that in mind as we head into the fall season.
For those that may not be aware of this, last year, I believe we had a tornado in November, if I'm right, Joel.
Thinking about February? Oh, maybe
no,
November.
Nope, November.
Yeah,
Southwest of
November.
It was a quick spin up. Actually, we might have had two. There was one by, I think, Holly as well. I don't know if you remember that.
Wasn't that the Leaf NATO?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, we've also had tornadoes in February too.
Mm-hmm. Both in 2024, we had tornadoes in February and in November.
Mm-hmm. And this year, I believe, I can't remember the exact number, Joel. I think we had, what, was it 15 tornadoes on March 30? Roughly?
Something like that, yeah. We started off pretty hot this year in spring.
Yeah, so it can happen.
Still some bright velocity signature here north of Marlette. Waiting to see what occurs. Excuse me. Again, if you have any photos, if you're in Marlette specifically or around Marlette, point your camera north or west if you're in front of the storm, and let us know what you're seeing. But it does look like it might be trying to... What's it trying to do here? Is it trying to finally get its act together, or no? We'll see. Given the fact that this line is less of a kidney bean shape and more of a up and down the line sort of deal, chances are this is going to maybe turn to more of a straight line wind threat. However, at the current time, because there are still reds out in front of it, there is some inflow possibilities to it as this now is crossing into Sanilac County. It's still on Brief Road at Martin Road. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the satellite behind the scenes just to see how sunny and unstable it is out there.
We are continuing to have a few more pop-up cells west of Highway 127. Just pop-up cells for now, but another humid day across Michigan. And we'll stick to that humidity very warm dew points, and our temperatures will also climb going into early next week. And then we'll probably have our cold front that will move through Tuesday night. And each day has a chance for storms, and we'll obviously be monitoring that here at MSC as always. And we do have a marginal risk for severe weather in southern Michigan for today going into tonight. But as of now, just scattered rain showers down there. Sun is, I think, starting to peek out down there. Yeah, double check on satellite unless Joel has it up already.
Sun peeking out down where?
Not really. I was saying southern Michigan, but it's mainly cloudy. There's one or two spots.
Not to mention the atmosphere in southern Michigan has already been worked over a little bit today. The Cape values down there are under 500 right now. We usually need 1,000. That's our storm fuel for storms to get strong to severe. So it could fill back in as we get into the evening hours. There is some better instability starting to fill in from the Chicagoland region. However, it might be too little too late. We'll have to see. There is an MCV that is situated along the Illinois-Indiana border right now. It could spin up some storms that could produce some damaging winds, perhaps a little bit of hail, and maybe a little bit of rotation. The current track of that right now, though, is going to be continuing south of the state line, so something to keep in mind as we go out this evening. Does not look like the marginal risk will really validate itself today in the Michigan side of things, but in Indiana, we'll have to see as the evening continues. So strong winds / rotation continues now on Cooper Road on the Sanilac County side of things. Cooper Road, Rutherford Road as it approaches Van Dyke Road, which is far north of our Imlay City Cam. Our Imlay City Cam points south as well, I believe.
Joel, it looks like we're getting a wall cloud video here. Unfortunately, I do not have a location. It's underneath our newest post. Just commented about 2 minutes ago here. Looks like a pretty low base once again. I do not know the location at this time.
I'll ask.
Okay. If I had to assume based on our post, it probably is by the Kingston area, or at least it was. Once again, I do not know. Yes, the majority of Michigan right now is getting rain. We are monitoring this area of rotation. But otherwise, yes, it's either clouds, some areas are getting some sun, and a good portion of central and southern Michigan in certain locations are also getting rain. It looks like something new, special weather statement.
I'll post this one.
Okay.
This one is now for Sanilac County, and they do indicate landspout possible with the storm. So the threat is there for the storm to keep producing brief weak tornadoes, but there is no tornado warning at the current time. If you are hearing sirens in Sanilac County, that is issued by your local officials and not the National Weather Service.
Theme for today across a good portion of central Michigan, southern Michigan, pop-up showers and thunderstorms are possible. We can't really predict an exact time. I can't say right now, Hastings, Michigan at 4:30, we're going to get a rain shower. That's not really how it works, unfortunately. We can look at satellite and try to figure out where there could be convection. We can't just say it. It's not like a typical day where we have like a line of storms that might be moving across the state. They're just kind of pulse storms that are popping up across the state. Best chances of seeing rain would be in central and southern Michigan, and those chances will be consistent kind of going for the rest of this afternoon into the evening. But then once we get dark out, then our chances will decrease for the majority of the state. And that's just mainly because of how humid it is right now. Across the state with dew points in the 70s.
The video says they are on Martin Road between Rutherford and Cooper. It was right as that rotation went over radar from 403 to 409. So it was in the vicinity of that rotating storm, which is continuing off now near Marlette. Go ahead and loop this. Marla, I would be on alert just in case. Clifford also just passing to your north right now. This area of brighter velocity is now passing into the Marlette region. Currently on Van Dyke Road in the vicinity of Van Dyke and Walker. Go ahead and change radars real quick to get the statement loaded in. There it is. Looking at the zoomed out radar, a bunch of cells now popping up from Trufant over to Stanton, north of Sheridan, heading up towards the Crystal region. Elma, a couple cells in Freeland. These are all not severe. Keep an eye on them. Main concern right now is the new statement for Sanilac County. Storms also in southern central Tuscola County, mainly south of Cairo and Kingston. Main concern, as mentioned, Marlette in western Sanilac County. A little bit of weak rotation also in Sandusky, but that is a lot weaker compared to the counterpart storm off to the southwest. I live in West Michigan. I've always pronounced it Trufant instead of Trufant. Trufant is how you guys are pronouncing it here. Trufant is always how it's been pronounced from those who are living in like the Grand Rapids area. So I don't know. This scan for velocity does continue these reds and greens. However, the reds and the greens are further apart than they were back near Kingston and Mayville. Maybe more of a gusty wind threat at the current time. Go ahead and look into the upper levels of the atmosphere. It does show that these storms are rotating in the upper levels. Mixing to the ground, not so much. So we'll hopefully keep it that way as these storms roll off to the east, eventually towards Peck, Applegate, mainly rural portions of Sanilac County. Yeah, to continue the town debate, Ravenna, people call it Ravanna. From where I grew up in West Michigan, it's always been Ravenna. So,
Same.
yeah.
I live in Ottawa County, and I always called it Ravenna. But
Ravenna, yeah.
I know there's certain
dialects.
Every person's kind of a slight,
Yep.
Some people have slight interpretations of it, so.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, I will say we have another video, I believe from the same person, when that storm kind of went over them. About 6 minutes. It looks like if that rotation is there, or at least if it was there, it looks like it was most likely rain wrapped, because it just looks like it's just kind of gusting forward. So it might be more of a shelf cloud now, potentially, unless it's buried in the rain.
Yeah.
Again, guys, appreciate the reports behind the scenes. Well, can you look at our team chat quick?
Yep, 1 sec.
Okay.
So this is the zoomed out view of southern and central lower Michigan. Anywhere we see storms that are red, those are heavy downpours. Anywhere you see the tan boxes, those are special weather statements. And at the current time, there's only 3 in effect in the thumb. Anywhere else, there is not any statements anywhere. So overall, just some rain, lighter to moderate rain moving through portions of southern Michigan. A couple cells in Montcalm, Gratiot, Saginaw counties. Also a cell up there near Newaygo and Mecosta County. Again, none of those strong to severe at the current time. Go ahead and zoom back in on our storm that is still rotating a little bit. More in the way of damaging winds at the current time. Winds of 40, by the way. So it says at 4:15, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm exhibiting periodic rotation over Marlette, moving east at 35. Hazards are landspouts and winds in excess of 40, and its radar indicated. Strong thunderstorm will be near Crosswell and Applegate, closer to the 4:50 time frame. Lexington around 5. Other locations impacted by the storm include Decker, Snover, Jewell, Elmer, Watertown, and Lexington Heights. It's that new special weather statement that is flashing on the screen with a loop. Out of state right now. Just checking down to the south a little bit. There's a storm that, if anyone is near the Fort Wayne area to the east of Fort Wayne, US 30, near Monroeville. That storm is exhibiting damaging winds and perhaps rotation there as well. All these storms down here was supposed to be shifted a little bit further north today, but they have since stayed south of Michigan. And we are tracking live over on Indiana Weather Network, I believe, at the current time, as these storms roll across Indiana. So feel free to go check out our other page, Indiana Weather Network. Nothing like that in Michigan, though, at the current time. The rotation up here in Sanilac County is very broad and weaker in nature, maybe transitioning to more of a damaging wind threat as it stands. Thank you for sharing the stream. Appreciate you. If you haven't done that yet, feel free to do so. We'll be live for a little bit longer. Not sure how much longer, but we're getting to that point now where the rotation is not as much of a concern, despite the fact there is that statement in effect. Still some bright reds and bright greens out there that could transition to more strong rotation at any time. However, the general consensus here is that the storm is weakening. Still, though, gusty winds could be ongoing. You definitely want to be taking it seriously for 40-mile-per-hour winds. You have any loose objects in the Marlette region, bring them indoors if it's not too late. If you're off to the east of Marlette, now is your chance to do that. Some lightning ongoing with the storm as well. Make sure you are sheltering indoors if you do hear thunder, and wait 30 minutes until these storms have passed, or until you hear your last thunder rumble or see your last lightning strike. Comment chat says Marlette Fire just got paged out for possible funnel cloud. If we have pictures of that, we'd appreciate it. It's kind of been the case across the thumb today. We've seen a couple of reports of multiple funnel clouds being reported, but not any pictures. So hopefully people aren't just speculating. We do appreciate the reports you guys have. Again, we have been seeing wall clouds, which is the first sign of rotation, and we have been seeing the rotation firsthand on radar. But again, if you have any pictures of funnel clouds, we will take those as well. We have not seen any photos of funnel clouds yet today. Sirens going off in Marlette. That would kind of confirm then what is going on in chat here with a possible funnel cloud. If you do have photos of it, feel free to send it in. We'll take it.
Just got a picture from Marlette. Looks like a shelf cloud that is currently moving through.
Yeah. I'm seeing that too.
Thank you for the report.
Mm-hmm.
Also clarify, shelf clouds are harmless. Usually they are a sign, like Joel was mentioning, for gusty winds. Sometimes they can be photogenic as well. wall clouds are the things that we are looking for in terms of rotation, and based on the recent update we've gotten, it looks to be more of a shelf cloud that is moving through Marlette at this time. More pop-up storms forming by Alma, Michigan, and portions of Montcalm County. Just rain showers and thunderstorms at this time.
Marlette is in Sanilac County. This isn't the thumb. The storm has continued to try and show weak rotation over the last probably 30 minutes now near Sandusky. Still trying to do something there. I would be heading towards Carsonville, right down M46. Otherwise, still watching that shelf cloud, as Drew was mentioning. Shelf cloud that is producing perhaps some gusty winds, and perhaps a funnel cloud back within the storm in Marlette. Those photos that were just shared with us do have a little bit of sneakiness back in behind the shelf. But again, funnel clouds cannot be seen on the front of the shelf. Funnel clouds are only back within the storm. It does look like there is, if you're looking at Faith's photo in our comments here, Drew,
yeah,
back left, it does look like there's a little bit of an appendage kind of hanging down, appendix hanging down, back behind the shelf.
Yeah. I will say sometimes it's hard to tell too when it's a frozen image.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of reports today too of rising scud. Those are wondering, scud is basically scary looking clouds that can be hanging from the clouds, but they're not actually rotating. And rising scud is scud that's basically kind of going into the storm. You can get that on days like today where it's very humid, very low cloud bases. So once again, when we're looking for rotation, we're looking for counterclockwise motion, spinning in the atmosphere attached to a cloud. So those are the general differences between scud and a funnel cloud.
Marlette Fire reports no visible activity. Thank you for that report. Kind of confirming what we're seeing on radar still. Heading towards Peck eventually as it continues to sag a little bit off to the east-southeast. It being this storm. It has a little bit of broad rotation on it. As shown at the bottom of the screen on our alert ticker, it shows the highest active alert and all active alerts. Highest active alert is on the top of the ticker, and then the bottom portion of the ticker has active alerts, the entire list. And right now the entire list is just one special weather statement. Again, in effect until 5:15 for Sanilac County. So that's it. We just have a special weather statement out there in one county out of the 83 in the state.
Joe, looks like we're getting a marine warning water spot possible up by Lake Superior by Isle Royale.
I do see that. Interesting. That's way up there in the UP. Holy cow. So special marine warning for Isle Royale National Park. Water spouts, severe thunderstorms capable of producing water spouts, which they aren't even on the lake yet, but they will be on the lake soon. Wind gusts of 40 and small hail also possible. There is basically no radar coverage up there. It is very, very far away, but that is a nice line of thunderstorms that are severe storm warned in Cook County, Minnesota, heading for technically Keweenaw County in Michigan. This is part of Keweenaw County, which is the northernmost county in the Upper Peninsula. It's an extension of that. It is technically Isle Royale National Park. As you can see, it is a severe warned storm. It is under a severe thunderstorm warning in Cook County. And this warning is for winds of 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. So we'll have to watch out for a warning for Keweenaw County, way up there in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Again, all of our attention has been focused on the abundance of caution storms down here in Sanilac County, Michigan, in the Lower Peninsula. The storm in western Sanilac County has really started to fall apart. Rotation's still trying to do something near Sandusky and Carsonville, but still weak at the current time on Eddy Road, the vicinity of Eddy Road and Berkshire Road. As mentioned, continuing towards Carsonville in the thumb of Michigan. If you're just tuning in, feel free to hit that like button. If you are not anywhere near the storm as well, the like button also helps out, helps boost the algorithm, pushes the stream into more Michiganders' feeds. So feel free to do that if you haven't already. And leave a comment. Let us know how you are enjoying your Saturday, if you can enjoy it, in the great state of Michigan. If you're visiting Michigan for the first time, welcome to one of our streams. Let us know where you're visiting Michigan from. And shout out to you for watching us here at Michigan Storm Chasers. This is what we do all the time, 24/7, 365 days a year in the great Mitten State. If you'd like to also drop a super chat, ask a question, support operations as well for that, feel free to do so on YouTube. A 1,000 of you watching right now between all of our streaming platforms. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch TV. Thank you guys for watching whatever platform you're watching on. For those just tuning in, there are no severe warnings in the state. We're watching a storm with 40 mile per hour winds and possible landspouts crossing the M46 region of Sanilac County, heading down towards Peck, Applegate. There has not been any warnings yet so far this afternoon. And we are watching a storm that is severe, actually, in Minnesota now, officially heading towards Keweenaw County, Michigan, which is Isle Royale National Park. The National Weather Service in Marquette will issue severe thunderstorm warnings for the island, and as a result, we will be live if that does happen. That is still part of Michigan up there, despite the fact there are 0 living residents on the island, just all campers. So keep that in mind. We'll have, if there's a warning in effect, it'll say population 0 for Isle Royale. Reception up there also pretty spotty. There's no cell service on that island, I believe. So, um, if you know anyone that is on Isle Royale camping and you have a way to contact them, let them know a strong thunderstorm across Lake Superior in Minnesota that is heading their way.
Again, the line of storms that is moving off to the east is moving at a little bit at a quicker pace. It's getting pretty close to Lake Superior. But as Joel mentioned, we'll be on the lookout for a potential warning, maybe.
You're talking about the storm up in Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And we'll be on the lookout for, again, an Isle Royale.
Reds and Greens trying to get a little bit closer together, about 2 miles south of Sandusky, but overall still not that concerning. We might be good soon. However, with that storm approaching Keweenaw, we might have to stay alive. So, let's see if any of our chasers are out there today. I don't believe anyone is. Worth a shot, though.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from our chat.
Everyone's out enjoying their Saturdays.
These storms have also been dodging our cams. We'll have a few more in the Thumb region soon, but our Harbor Beach cam storms just went south, so, and that cam was really just showing a bunch of fog and rain, so it wasn't really a helpful view at the time when these storms went through.
Thank you, Gigi. Yeah, we have been busy the last couple of days. Weather does not run on a schedule, though. It does its own thing. So we'll be here, always tracking, always alerting. I think something we could do here is to go to radar only stream. We haven't done this in a long time. For those who remember back in the days, we always would, if there's nothing severe going on, but something might go severe later, usually we'd keep the stream going, but it would only be like the radar on the screen at the current time. So we might do that. I don't know how you're feeling about it, Drew. That could be an idea. The rotation in Sanilac County right now still continues to be rather weak. We'll double box it, and we could just leave it here. I don't know. Let us know what you guys are feeling. Current time there is nothing severe in the state of Michigan. So.
I'm gonna get a radar update for that line of storms up by the UP.
Yeah, go for it. Storms later this evening, for West Michigan, not that much of a concern. A couple of showers and storms still popping up out there, but overall severe appears to be quickly decreasing throughout the night. Today was just a low-end day to begin with. Wasn't really too much to be expected, but nonetheless, we do have storms with landspouts possible ongoing in Sanilac County. Carsonville, south of Sandusky at the current time. The rotation overall is not really raising a eyebrow. The reds and greens are still pretty far apart. Walker Road at Cash Road, mind you. It's about 3 miles southeast of Sandusky. Storms are also not that tall. They're all below 35,000 feet, so not too crazy. Yeah, we'll go around the state one more time, and I think what we'll do is we'll do a radar update. We'll go through our sponsors here real quick, and then we'll switch to radar only for the time being. Maybe put on a little bit of music in the time being in the background. And we'll come back in the event severe does happen. So looking across the state, we'll go to Grand Rapids radar. Continued strong storms across Sandusky County. Otherwise, showers and thunderstorms scattered throughout southwest Michigan right now, mainly over Lake Michigan. Nice stratiform rain in the I-69 corridor south of Marshall, over towards I-94 in Jackson. Showers and thunderstorms popping up along the M46 region along the warm front from Edmore over to Elma, even over towards Breckenridge and Merrill, continuing over into the Saginaw region. Weak winds on that. Overall, just generic thunderstorms. If you see lightning, hear thunder, make sure you are taking shelter inside. Pop-up showers across Mecosta, Osceola counties up towards Missaukee County. A couple showers offshore Alpena, even a light rain up near Sheboygan. Moving into the UP. Nice day out there in the UP. However, strong to severe thunderstorms moving towards the waters of Lake Superior, eventually towards Keweenaw County. We will have to monitor these storms as warnings may be possible for the island of Isle Royale. That is your radar update across the state. Thunderstorms are possible throughout the evening. However, it looks like our severe chances for Lower Peninsula are dwindling with every passing minute. So that is your update from the radar perspective across the state. Rotation still broad and weak near Sandusky, continuing towards Applegate. If you're in Applegate, be on alert there for a weakly rotating storm. So all that being considered, we'll go ahead and shout out our sponsors, our trusted partners here at MSC. As a reminder, we would not be able to do this all the time at MSC if it wasn't for these sponsors. I believe our window to sign up to become a sponsor has closed for the end of summer / early fall, but be on alert. And if you are still interested in being a sponsor, it doesn't hurt to ask. However, these are the sponsors that help keep operations going 24/7 here at Michigan Storm Chasers, starting first with Storm Guard Roofing and Construction, based out of northern Metro Detroit. Also have Lifestyle Exteriors, that's based out of Lansing and Traverse City. We have also based out of the Lansing Powderville area, Katz Roofing and Siding. For all of your powder coating needs, turn to Pro Powder, based out of South Haven. Mike Hayes Roofing and Siding, based out of Sanilac and St. Clair counties, where this strong thunderstorm currently is located. McKay Tree Specialists, based out of Southeast Michigan. Kuiper Tree Care, based out of West Michigan. FBI Buildings for all of your barn dominium needs across the Lower Peninsula. On Top Roofing, based out of Livingston County. Schneider Commercial Building Solutions, based out of Lansing. Shield Public Adjusters, also based out of Lansing. We also have Top Gun Roofing Exteriors, based out of West Michigan. A-Class Construction Restoration, based out of Mason County. Rainbow Restoration, based out of Kent County. Rapid Radios for all of your LTE wireless communication, based out of, I believe, also West Michigan. Based out of Burton, you have Guardian Technologies for all of your security camera needs. And Ronald McDonald House of Detroit, feel free to donate to them to help families in need find the comfort they deserve in times of sickness. Also, a couple new sponsors behind the scenes that are going to be added in shortly. American Arbor, based out of St. Joseph County. And I believe that's actually it for now.
Joel, I think we have a severe thunderstorm warning coming in now.
For some reason, that did not pop up on our bottom bar. And they're issuing that for the county. So I'm going to go ahead and see what's up.
I'm going to cancel my radar post because that just went up. We'll get that warning up.
I saw that pop up on my phone, but I was waiting for it to pop up on the bottom bar. So severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Isle Royale. National Weather Service in Detroit, or sorry, not Detroit. National Weather Service in Marquette has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Keweenaw County in western Upper Peninsula, Michigan, until 5:45 Eastern. At 4:51 p.m., severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 43 miles north of Grand Portage State Park to near Thunder Bay, Ontario, to near Grand Portage, to near Grand Marais in Minnesota, moving east at 50 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, penny-sized hail are the hazards with this storm. It is radar indicated, and a tornado possible also in the warning text. Again, this is for Isle Royale National Park, and that is part of Michigan. So we are live now for severe ops. We're going to have to override the bottom bar. And until this storm gets to Isle Royale, there's nothing we can really talk about with this storm. Drew, we might need to pull your radar up because I do not have access to the Canada radars.
Yeah, let me pull my screen share quick.
Yeah, go for it. So here in the United States, the closest radars to this storm on Isle Royale National Park, or in Isle Royale National Park, is the Marquette radar in Marquette County, the Upper Peninsula, or Duluth, which is at the very far western tip of Lake Superior. So these storms are very far away. We're looking at over 10,000 feet up from the Duluth radar, and from the Marquette radar, like 16,000 feet up. So we're seeing like the middle to upper levels of this thunderstorm from those two radar sites. So it's very, very much in the radar dead zone. We'd have to use the radars in Canada, which my radar software does not have, to see these storms that are rolling across the far northeast corner of Minnesota, heading towards now severe warned Keweenaw County in the UP.
My radar should be ready now.
Okay. It's loading. Try refreshing this. Let's see if it pops in. has not popped in.
Interesting. Let me try this again. Try it again.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
That gives you a much better look. All you, Drew.
Mm-hmm. So we're tracking this line of storms that was from Minnesota and Canada. It's moving off to the east here. Hasn't even gone to Lake Superior quite yet. So again, tornado possible tag, as well as severe winds up to 60 miles per hour and non-severe hail. Lots of lightning with this line, as well as it continues to move off to the east. Imagine there'd be a really good shelf cloud with this line as well if we pull up velocity. Definitely can see some stronger winds. I know Canadian radars are a little bit different. I'm not too familiar in how accurate they are in terms of picking up wind speeds, but the good news is this line is pretty close to the radar, so I would imagine these are some pretty accurate readings that are coming in. Definitely some strong winds with this line as it continues to move off to the east. And as Joel was kind of mentioning, no one lives in Isle Royale, but we do have lots of campers that have very poor service. So hopefully they have a way to receive warnings, as this line is moving pretty quickly here to the east. Besides that, we don't currently have any other severe thunderstorm warnings across the state. We were tracking some rotating storms in the thumb. The UP, or not the UP, Southern Michigan is any marginal risk for severe weather, but as Joel was kind of mentioning, our atmosphere is not really conducive for severe weather. The main action has been in Indiana. Not saying that can't happen in Southern Michigan. We'll be watching things behind the scenes as our day continues to move on. But we also have a marginal as well as a slight excessive rainfall outlooks in place for Southern Michigan, so we have to be on the lookout for maybe localized areas of flooding as well. It'll be interesting as we watch this line go over into Lake Superior and Isle Royale if it will clip portions of Keweenaw County.
So again, the mainland or the island?
Maybe the mainland.
Gotcha.
I want to get a better idea on this line, get more frames. Yeah, it's almost like it's expanding out a little bit south in a way. Once again, if it would be the most northern parts of the county. So we'll keep an eye on it. But once again, main focus will be Isle Royale, that current severe thunderstorm warning. Is it Isle Royale County?
No, it's
I was looking it up, and
it's Keweenaw County. It's Isle Royale National Park.
Okay.
Keweenaw
So I was looking
County,
something up, and it.
Yeah, Keweenaw County is split into two. You have the mainland and you have the island.
Okay. So I was just looking it up, and it said it was, but then it became its own county. But I don't know. I didn't know if I. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's on loop here. So that's 7 frames. Again, lots of lightning present with this line as it continues to move off to the east. Not be surprised if there's a shelf cloud. Be mindful that any storm, even whether it's severe or not, has that capability of lightning. For those that may not be aware, we were live last time. There was actually a vehicle that got struck by lightning and actually started on fire. Thankfully, the person was all right and was able to get out, but his car was completely gone, just burned to a crisp. And that was due to a lightning bolt that struck his vehicle. Which, once again, that emphasizes the importance of being in shelter when storms are going on. When thunder roars, go indoors. So it's like we have a weak couplet in the southern portion of this line in Minnesota, southwest of Grand Portage. It's not surprised me given that this warning is for a tornado possible tag. So that'll be something we'll be on the lookout. But as Joel mentioned, we only can use really the Canadian radar just because it's the closest radar to this island.
Yep.
Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys, have had 1 or 2 live streams where you've covered for this island in the past, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah, last year.
Last year? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Still part of Michigan.
Indeed. No, there's nothing else going on in the UP besides this line.
Looking back down south, for those who are curious about the marginal risk along the I-94 corridor and south today, the atmosphere right now is very capped and instability is very low. So at this point, I would tend to believe that there will likely not be any severe weather for the remainder of the day for southern Michigan. Now we could see, if I switch back to my radar here real quick, an isolated warning along the warm front here from Saginaw County over to Sanilac County where there's isolated cells popping up. So far today, we've seen multiple special weather statements for 50 to 55 mile per hour winds and isolated land spouts possible with these rotating storms. In fact, there is still rotation out there in this storm near Applegate. However, it is more likely the entire storm is rotating and not closer to the ground, as this is 4,500 feet up. This is an Applegate Road. Now, the latest update puts on Applegate Road at Burr Road and Laurie Road, South Laurie Road, heading into Applegate as we speak. So that is likely the only place there would be a warning, along with any of these storms along the M46 corridor from Saginaw over towards Elma and Edmore as the evening continues on. But at the current time, not holding high hopes to that. The main concern right now is the severe thunderstorm warning for the island, Isle Royale National Park, Keweenaw County.
Yeah, I will say, Joel, this line continues to expand a little southward, so I wouldn't be shocked if it would affect portions of Keweenaw County, or the southern portion of Keweenaw County.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, time will tell. It still has to get through all of Lake Superior as well. So we'll see what happens with that.
Right.
Once again, if you guys know anyone that's camping in Isle Royale, if there's any way you can let them know about this incoming line, please do so. Whether that is sharing this live stream or sending them a message about this line. Once again, it's for 60 mile per hour winds, tornado possible tag. and currently non-severe hail. This line is moving pretty quickly here to the east.
Like 55, right?
What's that?
Moving at like 55 miles per hour, I believe.
Yeah. Just about to enter into Lake Superior. The southern portion of it actually has.
So landspout is usually a type of tornado that forms from the ground up, not usually associated with some sort of mesocyclone yet. Also pretty weak in nature. Usually, if they do cause damage, it's EF0 or lower, and then obviously a tornado is going to be something that is from a thunderstorm. However, we do have a thunderstorm, so riddle us that, I guess. Surprised we didn't have any tornado warnings today. There were some instances where the rotation was rather strong, but they decided to continue special weather statementing the entire area for rotation possible as those storms cross the thumb and are now heading pretty close to Lake Huron.
I will mention too, Joel, when we have been live, the two areas we've been covering have been technically outside of any severe risk. First, obviously, with a thumb where there's a thunderstorm risk, and then now with the current severe thunderstorm warning for Isle Royale. So just kind of proves the point. Although it's very rare to get severe weather, you're not in a severe risk. It just kind of shows the importance of always having, a severe weather plan, even if you're currently not in a risk for severe weather. It's not common, but it can happen. And this is a good example of that. I will mention day 2 has loaded in. There is a slight risk for severe weather for the UP tomorrow for western portions of the UP. And that would be for a 2% tour, as well as a 15% wind and 5% hail. I could show it up on Radar Omega here, but I know last time when I did that, it was pretty difficult for you guys to see. I don't know if we want to do that now, Joel, if we just want to wait later, or...
Well, we can wait.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning for the Isle Royale is in a general thunderstorm category. The marginal risk goes all the way up to the Lake Superior shoreline, but once these storms head on to Lake Superior, it hits the thunderstorm category. So all the storms in question today, as Drew mentioned, all in the normal thunderstorm category from the Storm Prediction Center. Now here at MSC, we also release our own maps, kind of similar to what the SBC does. We had the thumb in a level 1 today for gusty winds, but not for tornadoes or hail. And we almost had a couple tornadoes so far. And I believe the Upper Peninsula just also in a thunderstorm risk. And that's it.
Yes.
So a low-end day that is trying to verify as much as possible.
Take a peek here at velocity, see. It's like the strongest of winds present on, kind of scattered throughout this entire line. Do have a few embedded areas of rotation as well, more on the southern portion of the line. Again, we'll be keeping an eye as this moves off to the east. Joel, do you know if there's any, well, since there's any population, would there even be any source of power, like for power outages at all, or?
No. Everything up there is
okay.
Everything up there on the island runs on solar.
Okay. Cool.
I found that out when I looked at their island cams. It says during the winter, cams may not work due to lack of solar. So.
Yep.
So very nice. On the Isle Royale cams, there's very nice. You can see the anvil from the clouds coming in. That's very cool. So the National Park Service has a bunch of webcams set up across Isle Royale. nps.gov/media/webcam, and then a bunch of numbers. The best way to visit it nps.gov/ISRO/learn/photos multimedia/webcams is the link. Definitely getting dark there. You guys are crushing my dreams. It's pronounced Royal instead of Royale. I like Royale though. What if I want to keep saying it like that? It's not fair.
Well, it's Royal.
I guess so. According to 2 chats who just got in.
All right, Isle Royal.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new scan. We got a new webcam image in from I'm watching the Rock Harbor cam in the background here. It is moving quick. The anvil cloud above went from like halfway on the screen to like 2/3 of the way on the screen.
Will mention, looking behind the scenes at mesoanalysis here, there is a decent amount of elevated cape, not so much of surface-based cape, mainly for Keweenaw County and northern portions of the Upper Peninsula. So we'll see what this complex tries to do here as it continues to move off to the southeast.
Big waiting game right now.
It's hard to, I'm realizing this on Pivotal, you can't even select a sector where it includes Isle Royale or Royal.
Yeah.
So it's like, it does show this line actually hitting the island, but you can't get soundings because you can't even pull up that region.
Yeah.
Let me try Weather Bell. Interesting live stream today. I will say that.
Yeah.
There we go. Weather Bell has it. Sweet. Interesting. The models show this line supposed to weaken as it goes over Lake Superior. We'll see if that happens. It also had this line more over Lake Superior, and it looks like just via radar, it's a little bit more south than anticipated. So those are two things I'm noticing between the HER model and current data and radar. I'd be shocked if there's future marine warnings issued downstream of this line as it moves to the southeast. Don't worry, Joel is watching things in the thumb as what he has via his radar right now.
Yep. Quick update here. The statement has been, or has expired. It expired at 5:15. Rotation still broad inside the storm. It's more, as I mentioned, a rotating meso at the current time. So what that means is the entire storm itself is a mesocyclone. It's rotating around, but it's not getting down to the surface. So good news there. The storm is also directly on, I'm not going to bother pronouncing that road name, but the road to the north of it is Applegate Road, crossing over M25, so pretty much heading onto Lake Huron within the next 2 minutes. It is already on Lake Huron on portions of the storm, but the center of that rotation, in quotation marks, is on on M25 right now, about to cross onto Lake Huron. So good news there, no concerns. Looking back up at the Saginaw area, a little bit of winds maybe gusting in near Reese and Munger, perhaps over here towards Vestaburg and south of Wynne on the border of Gratiot, Isabella, and Montcalm counties. Otherwise, nice and clear out there right now. In the Lower Peninsula, we are watching the Upper Peninsula still, which is on Drew's cam.
Looks like the northern portion of this line is starting to weaken based on reflectivity. Let's see if that's the case via velocity. It looks to be the case. It's still gusty, but doesn't look near as strong as it was before, thankfully. Again, there are embedded areas of rotation as well. Including this area. Currently over Lake Superior, so once again, there is a special marine warning for water spouts. Watching this zone. Looks like we do have a few other areas, but a little bit further away from the radar. Still pretty far away from the Marquette radar as well.
I don't know if they've ever issued a tornado warning on Isle Royale. That would be a good question to look up, or fact to look up.
Indeed. I wouldn't be shocked. It just wouldn't be something common.
Right.
That up. Based on sources I'm reading, it's at They say it has happened before.
Do we have a year?
It's a good question. Trying to figure out that. One of the first links that actually popped up was one of our live streams for Isle Royale.
That's just funny.
Yeah. Well, maybe that here. Nope. I know there has to be an easy way just to look in the database or something to look up, but it's not something I'm familiar with. Unless anyone in chat knows.
We're talking more like tornado warnings in general. We're not talking about confirmed tornadoes. Obviously, the archive says no confirmed tornadoes on the island. We're just talking about normal tornado warnings. You can still get tornado warnings, but no tornadoes surveyed from it. On top of that, that would be a very interesting survey. If you had to go to Isle Royale to survey tornado damage.
Flying a helicopter.
Yeah. Probably the National Park Service probably would have to do something along those lines.
Once again, this is the main focus as of 5:25 p.m. There are other rain showers and thunderstorms across lower Michigan at this time. Nothing at this time is too concerning. We were watching the thumb earlier on via Joel's radar. We're using my radar just because I can, on Radar Omega, I can access Canadian radars. But this is the main area that we're focusing on.
Cat
Joel,
alert.
is that your cat?
Cat alert.
Cat alert. Cat alert.
Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, that's okay. Hey, bud. Got hurricane here once again. But again, the perks of being moved back home. I can hang out with my cat all the time. He's very adamant when he wants attention. Could hear him coming from a mile away. Hey.
Joel, are you seeing a shelf cloud at all with that webcam at all?
Not at the current time. There is a nice anvil cloud, which is the top of it, but cool. No shelf. I'm looking at the Greenstone Ridge cam right now, too.
Having a few people ask a quick radar recap for Lower Michigan. Do you want to do that, Joel, or do you want me to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
The TLDR of it is there's basically nothing going on. But you can still see showers and storms popping up in a couple spots, mainly Gratiot, Saginaw County, southern Isabella, Midland, and Bay. That storm that had a statement out for possible land spouts is now offshore into Lake Huron, so good news there. A couple showers popping up Clare County, Roscommon County. Otherwise, southwest Michigan fairly clear as well as west Michigan. A couple cells in Cass, offshore Benton Harbor, and into South Haven. Moving up into northern Michigan, and just mainly a little bit of light rain. Hurricane, stop licking my leg. Goodness gracious. Nothing up in the Upper Peninsula. And as mentioned, the only warning in the state is for Keweenaw County. Isle Royale National Park. So that is your radar update. Can you stop licking my knee? Thank you.
Did you have some food on your knee?
No, I think he needs to be fed, and he might eat me first.
Uh-oh. And this line segment is now basically left Minnesota and Canada and is now on Lake Superior.
Here it comes. Yeah,
A little bit more.
the cams at Isle Royale update every like 5 to 10 minutes. So.
If I were in the southern portion of Keweenaw County, maybe even northern parts of Houghton County, I'd be on the lookout maybe for this line. We'll see if it remains severe criteria in terms of winds. It looks like it's dying off mainly in the northern part of that line. But regardless, I wouldn't be shocked if you guys get some rain or lightning even from this line as it moves to the southeast. But still a ways away, but just something I'll mention now. Draw it out here as well. I'd say anywhere throughout this region. Should be on the lookout. That's if it can hold together. The models think it will continue to weaken and eventually fall apart, but we'll see if that will actually happen. Surface cape is weak, but elevate cape is still pretty present, so wouldn't be shocked if it can at least try to hold together as it moves to the southeast a little bit.
The warning bar is back to working. So you can see all the information for this severe thunderstorm warning. In Keweenaw County, which is the island, Isle Royale, winds of 60, hail 0.75 inches, and a tornado possible till 5:45 Eastern. They might need to extend the time of this warning because it's about 14 minutes and it hasn't even hit the island yet.
Yeah.
We'll
Unless
see.
they don't think it's severe.
Yeah. Or they don't expect to be severe past 5:45. That's also possible.
Yeah. So I'll throw out a random question for anyone that's watching chat. Has anyone been in Keweenaw County, this little peninsula here in northern portions of Houghton County and southern Keweenaw County? I always hear it's like a good area just to like go hiking and viewing and stuff like that. Love to do a storm chase sometime in the UP. If you have any residents from that area too, I'd like to hear your feedback as well. I know for me personally, I went camping on a vacation about 2 years ago with family, and we went to Pictured Rocks, as well as some other falls like Tequantum Falls. Very beautiful landscapes across the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah,
Wow,
I've
water
been.
spout sightings.
Oh,
And
really?
what's... Oh, I know one person was just saying that they when they used to live there, they had they saw a water spout and it went on land.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know if that was cool for you. If it was, might be a little bit of a scary experience. Good for hiking, all right.
Mm-hmm. Is there a part of Minnesota that's in the Eastern time zone? So no, there's not. The furthest eastern county in the eastern, or furthest west county in the Eastern time zone is Keweenaw and Ontonagon. If you count the island of Isle Royale, um, those are the furthest two counties that are in Eastern time zone. If you go to Gogebic County in the UP, that is a Central time zone county. Minnesota is all Central time zone. So for those of you just tuning in, we've been here live for over 2 hours now. We were tracking some rotating storms across the thumb. Those are no longer of a concern. The only concern in the state of Michigan right now is uh, it's on the island of Isle Royale National Park, and this is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan on Lake Superior. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect. You can see the information at the bottom of the screen. Keweenaw County, it's part of Keweenaw County. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, and a tornado possible with this squall line as it moves towards Isle Royale. I'm getting a new photo from Isle Royale every 6 minutes. It's kind of slow. See any of these cams? Oh, yeah. Beautiful shelf on our Wendigo webcam right now. Isle Royale.
So there you hear it. There is a shelf cloud with this line, which isn't surprising just because it's been a line or squall line for quite some time. Pretty common thing to have with these kinds of complex systems that from west to east.
Our Rock Harbor webcam also starting to show that shelf in the distance. Just a little bit.
So there are a lot of... It's a brand new comment here. There are a lot of blueberry fields in Isle Royale Island at all. One of my old jobs I did in Holland, Michigan was actually blueberry picking.
I don't know. I've never, like I said, I've never been there.
Check velocity again. Once again, the main area for any strong to damaging winds, if I had a guess, would be mainly along this leading edge. But right along the shelf, if I had a guess. And it looks like new special marine warning has just popped in now for east of the island. Check it out and see what it's for. Special marine warning is in effect until 6:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Threats would be wind gusts to 40 knots and small hail. So kind of downgrading the wording. Before there were the chances of water spouts. Now they are getting rid of that wording. So kind of what I was originally anticipating, this line is weakening as it's moving off to the southeast. Once again, frequent lightning, strong gusty winds. Still have that severe thunderstorm warning in place. Could still see really impactful line as it hits Isle Royale. Probably in the next few minutes here. It's just clipping the southern portions of the island as we speak. But yeah, struggling to get anything because once again, it's just a bunch of campers that would be living here. It's all wilderness too up here, right, Joel?
Yep.
Or is there like any natural campgrounds? Because I'm not really familiar with this place.
There's just everyone camps kind of really wherever. There's the harbor on the east side of the island. I'm trying to figure out where that would be on your radar.
Maybe over here.
It's like, hold on. I can figure this out. I believe it's on the southeast side.
Probably imagine right here then.
No, it's actually up in the northeast. So it is.
Oh, I had it right.
Yeah. It's
It's
Rock Harbor is the main docking station. So right there, that little cutout, yeah.
Right here.
Actually, it's even further north too. Well, the Rock Harbor Lighthouse and the Rock Harbor Lodge are in different spots. So
I'd be shocked if we have a little bit of embedded rotation around the southern portion of the island. So winds are heading towards the radar. Draw. Winds heading away be the more the fainter red colors. So once again, it's pretty difficult though how far away it is. But if there would be something that would spin up, whether it's be a water spout, since it's over water, it'd be probably around this location.
I think the
Have they
national
updated that warning?
they have, and it says a tornado watch remains in effect for the warned area. There's no tornado watch. I think they accidentally pressed one too many buttons there on the island, but the warning no longer has tornado possible in it. So it's now just 60 mile
Yeah.
per hour winds. 60 mile per hour winds and hail less than 0.75.
Doesn't surprise me. The reds and greens have been weakening as they've continued to move to the southeast as well. Squall line's also lost some of its organization as it's moved to the southeast. So they got rid of the tornado possible tag. It says it's supposed to expire in 1 minute on my part. So
yeah,
did they?
5:45 is the expiration time.
Okay.
So it'll be popping off in just a second.
Looking at our environment and yep, just cancel on my end.
Yep.
I'll quickly mention this. Looking at our environment in southern Michigan still is capped and really no cape. Their best environment in terms of surface base cape would be more in the thumb region. We do have some strong to severe storms ongoing in Illinois, Indiana, as well as portions of Ohio, but once again, nothing for southern Michigan at this time. Severe warning has been canceled. The storm has continued in Isle Royale Island here, northern portions of Keweenaw County. It's continued to weaken. First, they got rid of that tornado possible tag, and now they have allowed the warning to cancel unless they're planning to issue another one, which I don't know if they're going to do that. It ran out of its time, but once again, this line has continued to weaken, so I wouldn't be shocked if they don't even issue another one. These other yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings for Canada. And then these purple boxes that you see are for special marine warnings. The special marine warning that's closest to Keweenaw County, the southern portion of Keweenaw County, is for wind gusts up to 40 knots and a pea-sized hail, which is not severe criteria.
Indeed. Well, now that line of storms is no longer severe, switch back to our radar here in the Lower Peninsula and show you what's going on. Again, showers and thunderstorms continue across Tuscola, Saginaw, portions of Bay and Midland. Thunderstorm run on shore near Stevensville and Benton Harbor in southwest Michigan. A couple cells up in Roscommon and Clare. And Cody's up there right now, but I don't think he's chasing today. So he is on a storm that is very close to Houghton Lake. That is not severe. And a clear day across Marquette County warning area region, so that would be the Upper Peninsula. So overall, quiet night as we head into the 6 o'clock hour. So thank you guys so much for watching this afternoon. We will hop in back live as needed if there's any more severe weather tonight. But for the time being, we are going to wrap this up for now. Again, all our sponsors we already read off. If you'd like to check them out, they're always rolling at the top of the screen. If not, you can always go back and screenshot them anywhere in the stream as needed. As always, our live streams can be found here on Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitch TV. Username is MI Storm Chasers, or if you just type in Michigan Storm Chasers, that is the best way to find us. Make sure you're following us on at least 2 of those platforms so you know when we go live. Best way to do so is by hitting that subscribe button on YouTube and turning on post notifications. As a reminder, We also have like merch and stuff that you can support us with. Totally optional to do. Our merch store is helicity.co. Otherwise, you can donate directly to Michigan Storm Chasers via Venmo at MI Storm Chasers or on our website, michiganstormchasers.com/support MSC. All that being said, Drew and I are going to hop off for now. Again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzmo alongside Student Meteorologist Drew Brummel. We'll catch you next time here at Michigan Storm Chasers for another live stream, whether that's severe weather live or a severe weather briefing. We'll catch you next time. Have a great Saturday night, everyone. See you soon.
See you guys.